Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I am so incredibly excited to be filming this video because it is the beginning of a new series that I'm starting called my Skincare Spotlight series. I have always been into skincare, as you can probably tell if you go back and look for skincare videos that I posted on my channel. But I really feel like 2024 is going to be the year of skincare for me. I am deep diving into so many areas of skincare, more general, more specific, and I decided to start a series where I will put a spotlight on either a certain product, a certain ingredient, a certain brand, or a certain category of skincare. And I will post these once every few weeks. I'm not going to inundate my channel with nothing but skincare. It will still be a mix of all kinds of beauty. But I just feel like I need to share some of this stuff that I'm finding and loving. So the very first episode of my Skincare Spotlight series is going to be on an ingredient. And this is my favorite alpha hydroxy acid that I have found to date, and it is Mandelic acid. Now, what is an alpha hydroxy acid? Sometimes if you're new to skincare and you hear the word acid as pertaining to something you put on your face, it might scare you a little bit, and that is totally understandable. But an alpha hydroxy acid is a molecule that dissolves the bond between dead skin cells that helps them slough off, turn over faster, release from the skin, for lack of a better term, to show the healthy skin cells underneath, and in turn help with fine lines and wrinkles, breakouts, hyperpigmentation, sebum regulation, lots of good things that come from using an AHA. Probably the most popular alpha hydroxy acid on the market is glycolic. It's also one of the strongest because it is one of the smallest molecule acids, which means it's going to penetrate deeper into the skin because it has better access because of the size of the molecule. Because of that, it can be irritating to a lot of people. And even if it's not irritating in its intended use, it can be overused, therefore irritating the skin even worse. That has happened to me in the past. I would overuse glycolic acid and I would break out into small white bumps all over my face. My barrier really struggled because of it. And I think a lot of these products that are on the market are directed to the consumer to use too often. So what I did when I realized that I was over exfoliating was that I completely cut out glycolic acid altogether. I can still use it in some products. I've talked about the Dr. Dennis Gross pads that I'm able to use it in, but I really have to concentrate on not exfoliating my face too much. What I have found is that I can exfoliate my face more often if I use a certain alpha hydroxy acid, and that's where Mandelic acid comes in. It is the largest molecule in the alpha hydroxy acid family. Therefore, it is not going to penetrate as deep into the skin, but that doesn't mean it's not working. It just means that you will most likely see a lot less irritation using this specific acid versus something like glycolic with a much smaller molecule. I also currently use tretinoin, and I have found when I use stronger alpha hydroxy acids while using tretinoin, my peeling actually is worse because while tretinoin is not an acid, it does help with cell turnover like an acid does. And if I get too much of that happening, the peeling and the flaking really gets exacerbated. That is also where Mandelic acid comes in, because when I have been using Mandelic acid in conjunction with tret, not in the same routine, but maybe one in the morning, one at night, I am not seeing the peeling like when I was using a glycolic acid. So this is how I use it. I will use it usually around 2 times a week, and depending on which of the 3 products I'm going to show you, I will either use it morning or night. If I use it at night, it will be on an off night where I'm not using my tretinoin. If I use it in the morning, it will be on a morning where I do not use the pure form of vitamin C L-ascorbic acid. I only have a few serums that contain that form of vitamin C, so I just choose one with a vitamin C derivative and I'm fine. It can also be alternated with BHAs if you're someone who really struggles with acne. While Mandelic acid does help, and it is one of the AHAs that is marketed to be better for acne, it is not the same as a beta hydroxy acid. So if you're someone who has a beta hydroxy acid in their routine and loves it and doesn't want to give it up, you can still use an alpha hydroxy acid. I would just recommend doing it on alternating days. So I have 3 favorites that I want to share with you, and they're all kind of different. They have different price points. They have different kind of delivery systems, and they are all mixed with different ingredients. Now I'm going to talk about my first favorite, and this is actually the newest product to my collection, but man, oh man, is it good. And it is the Paula's Choice Skin Perfecting 6% Mandelic Acid plus 2% Lactic Acid Liquid Exfoliant. I have talked on my channel before about loving lactic acid. It is a little bit smaller molecule than Mandelic, but it is larger than glycolic, so it's kind of in between. This comes in 2 sizes, which I love. You're able to try out a 1 fluid ounce if you don't want to invest in a 3 fluid ounce. Try it out and see what you think. And 2 price points, which I'll put up on the screen. What I find is really important when choosing any alpha hydroxy acid is to look at the ingredient list and see that it has other barrier supporting ingredients within the formula. That is going to help lessen irritation that could possibly happen from the acid itself. It's going to help with hydration because acids can dry out the skin if you use them too often or if you're prone to sensitivity. So I'm going to split the screen and show you a couple of the supporting ingredients that are also in this product. Not only do you have the mandelic acid and the lactic acid, but you also have yarrow extract, which is anti-inflammatory and antibacterial. There is bayberry in here, which is also antibacterial. There is cherry blossom, which helps strengthen the barrier and offer hydration. Again, one of those important ingredients to look out for. And then there's also what they call chocolate vine. And I had to look up what this does, but it helps reduce irritation, which is great to have in a product that could potentially irritate your skin. So this is a toner. I will use this on a cotton pad and I will use this in the morning. This is something that I do tend to use in the morning, and again, choose a vitamin C derivative instead of an LAA. So I'll use my Truth Treatment Systems or my Medicate C Tetralux or my Truology C Boost. Any of those will be great because they use a tetrahexadecyl exorbate, which is a derivative, and you won't find any irritation using those two together. So I love this very much, and I do find that it is actually very hydrating. Their BHA is also hydrating, which I think is what sets it apart, but I find this one even more so. Another one that I absolutely love, and is the one that I've had the longest out of all 3 of these, is from Neogenesis, which, if you don't know, is one of my very favorite skincare lines, along with the line I'm going to talk about next. This is their Mandelic Acid 8%. So again, the Paula's Choice had a 6%. The Mandelic acid here is in an 8% concentration. This also is available in 2 sizes. You can get a 5 ml or a 30 ml. And again, I'll put the prices up on the screen. This one has the least amount of ingredients of all the 3 that I'm going to talk about. It only has 10 ingredients. And when you look at all of the ingredients other than the Mandelic acid, you're going to find hydrating and even anti-aging ingredients within this as well. So you have glycerin, which is hugely hydrating and very underrated, although I do think it's getting more love recently, as it should. It also has lactic acid as the last ingredient. Now, lactic acid is also used in products as a hydrator, and I think that's what it is used in here for. I don't think it's of any percentage where it would be considered a mixture like this one, but it does help with hydration. And then it also has hydrolyzed rice protein, which has been shown to produce anti-aging effects, softening fine lines and wrinkles, and softening the skin. This one is more of a gel consistency. It sinks into the skin very well, but it is lighter in consistency. So if I'm using this with other ingredients in a skincare routine, I will probably be putting it towards the beginning of the routine, because the rule of thumb is typically going lightest or thinnest to thickest. And this is a pretty thin consistency despite being gel-like. Again, hydrating and just beautiful. It really is beautiful. And again, the most simplistic of the ingredient list of all 3 that I'm going to talk about. And then the very last one is by one of my very favorite discoveries. I want to say of 2023, but I believe I started using this brand in late 22, and it's Allies of Skin. And if you've ever heard me talk about Allies of Skin, they are, to me, the best brand that does one and done products, meaning they do not do single ingredient products. They're not going to put out something that just has mandelic acid and a couple of other ingredients. They are going to make sure that it is a powerhouse product that you could be one and done with. You can use just this and only this and get a ton of benefits from it. This is the Mandelic Pigmentation Corrector Night Serum. Also comes in 2 sizes. I love that all 3 of these come in various sizes so that you can try a small one if you want to. And this one has not only mandelic acid and lactic acid, but also 1% of salicylic acid. So they do have all 3 combined. I know I had mentioned at the beginning of the video that if you do use a BHA, you might want to alternate, but formula is king here. And if a formulation has been made where they are together, then they are going to be safe to use together. So I have no issue with this. I get no irritation with this, or it wouldn't be one of my favorites. And it is an 11% mixture of both. Now, I reached out to the company to see if they could give me specific percentages for each acid. And all they said was there was a mixture of mandelic and lactic and then 1% salicylic. I then proceeded to ask if they could be more specific on the percentages of mandelic and lactic. I have not received a response. If I do before I post this, I will put it on the screen. It also has 1% bakuchiol, which is a strong antioxidant. It has been said to have retinol-like benefits. I would not say use a bakuchiol and not use a retinol, but it doesn't hurt as an antioxidant added into a formula. It has 1% superoxide dismutase, which is a very popular and powerful antioxidant and is probably best known for the Neod mist. It also has 8 brighteners and 7 antioxidants plus some peptides. I'm going to read those out because I would never be able to memorize them. It has palmitoyl tripeptide 5, nonapeptide 1, acetyl tetrapeptide 40, hyaluronic acid, niacinamide, rose hip seed oil, tamanu oil, rumex occidentalis extract. I can't even say this word. I will put it on the screen. Vitamin E, camellia leaf extract, and algae extract. So again, very, 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 very all in one. If I use this, I will only use this. So if it's an exfoliation night, I'm not doing any kind of retinol, I will use this moisturizer, eye cream, nothing else. And I love it. So if you are someone who travels a lot, but you want to start including an AHA in your routine, this is the way to go, 100%. So what I see personally from using all of these products a couple of times a week in conjunction with my other skincare is just brighter skin. I don't feel like my skin is dull looking. I feel like it actually accepts other skincare products better because I'm exfoliating it. I can accept hydration better. I feel like it stays more plump and smooth because of that. And it's just a step I don't want to give up, but I definitely am probably most likely going to be sticking with mandelic acid because my skin just likes it the best. So hopefully you enjoyed this skincare spotlight episode number 1. I will definitely be back in a few weeks with my next episode. Let me know if you have any suggestions on topics that you want me to cover down in the comment section below. I will have everything listed and linked down below. Thank y'all so much for watching. Be sure and like and subscribe before you leave so you don't miss out on any future videos. And I hope you all go out and have a very blessed day.